What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. Today, we're going to be going over the quarterback starts to them every single matchup, guys. We are going to have the Texans and the Vikings on a bye, so make sure CJ Stroud and Carson Wentz are out of your lineups. This is going to be the post where I drop all the statistical analysis defensively of why I like the quarterbacks and starts, why I don't, depending on injuries. We'll look at game scripts, point totals as well, guys. Before we dive into it, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. All the support's appreciated. I can't thank you guys enough. Remember, if you have any questions as well, drop them down below. It does not have to pertain to this video. I try to answer every single one of them to help you guys win your weekly matchups. And also, we have the Guys FF Discord that will be pinned in the top of the comments and in the description of the video. Me and my partner, Big Draft Energy, we cover everything fantasy football to help you guys. Dynasty, redraft, trades, everything. We drop our pick'ems in there as well on drafters.com. Make sure you sign up on there using promo code SLEAZE. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. And let's dive in to the quarterback matchups heading into week 6 here. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my start sit on board for quarterbacks. Green, obviously start. Yellow will be super flex play or not. Red will be home team at the top away team at the top versus down to the home team here. And we're going to kick it off with Thursday Night Football. Jackson Dart is hosting Jalen Hurts. The Giants versus the Eagles. The over-under is 40.5. The Eagles are favored by 6.5. And as much as I've liked Jackson Dart, this one is going to be a possible super flex play for me. Not a smash start redraft-wise here because you're going up against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. They rank 13th versus the quarterback, giving up 16.1 points per game, 1,102 passing yards, 6 passing TDs they've allowed. Yeah, that is, over 1.15 per game. But if it's just going to be a tougher game here, this is the Saquon Barkley revenge game here. So he's more of a super flex play with his rushing upside, which you've seen over 50-plus yards in the past 2 games. And they've lost Darius Slayton, and they've lost Malik Neighbors. Yeah, Theo Johnson's emerged, but Philly's very good versus the tight end. So Theo Johnson, tough matchup coming for him as well. And you're going to have Wan'Dale Robinson out there going up against Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, which is still going to be a tough matchup for me. So just barely like low-end super flex play for me this week. Jalen Hurts, man, just threw 40 pass attempts, and passing game still wasn't that great. Devonta Smith had a little breakout game. A.J. Brown got Patrick Surtain last week. You're going to get the Giants. They give up 16.8, right around what the Eagles do. 1,246 pass yards, 6 passing TDs, and 132 yards on the ground to the QB. And that's where he gets it done. He's going to get a tush push. They're going to get, he always is just a 20-point quarterback, even though the passing game hasn't looked great. But you have to remember, this is Saquon heading back into New York. I know he has a little knee injury, but this is going to be a Saquon Barkley revenge game, smash game. But I'm still starting Jalen Hurts. The 3-2 Broncos are headed into the 0-5 New York Jets. The wheels are falling off. 43.5 over under. Denver is favored by 7.5 in this game. And this is going to be an absolute smash start for Bo Nix. The Jets' defense has just been shambles because the offense can't keep them off the field. So the Jets are giving up 20 points a game to the quarterback, ranking 27th, 1,071 pass yards, and guys, 11 passing TDs through 10 games. That is over 2 passing touchdowns a game. Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, J.K. Dobbins. It's going to be a Broncos bloodbath here. And Bo Nix is an absolute start for me coming off that big win last week where they got the clutch win over the Eagles. On the Justin Fields side, I'm still going to say he's a start, but I'm on the fence with it. So it's kind of like a low-end start because they've been he gobbles up rush yards, obviously, and they gobble up garbage time points. And they've just been feasting on garbage time points with him and Garrett Wilson for the past 3 weeks straight. And that saves your fantasy day. And anytime you can get over 20-plus points, it's got to be a start still, even though I don't really like it versus the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are third versus the quarterback, giving up 12.9 points per game, 1,133 pass yards, only 4 passing TDs. And they are very good versus the quarterback on the ground as well, only allowing 15 rushing yards, but this is a different animal with Justin Fields. So he's not not a smash start for me, just a low-end start because I feel like garbage time and the rushing yards that he will bring will make him a serviceable redraft start quarterback, even though the matchup is a nightmare and Patrick Surtain is going to be all over Garrett Wilson. So you're probably going to see more of a Mason Taylor game here with 8 to 10 targets for him as well. But Justin Fields still a low end start for me, and Bo Nix a very high end smash start for me. The 2-3 Cardinals on a 3-game skid are headed into a terrible matchup versus the Indianapolis Colts here. The over-under 47.5. Colts are favored by 6.5 in this game. And Kyler Murray did the trust, like I said last week, I was like, man, this is like the last time I'm smash starting him in a good matchup. And the trust is completely gone. The Indianapolis Colts defense, very good versus the quarterback as well. They rank 6th overall, allowing 14.47 points per game, 1,174 yards, 8 passing TDs. So they, over a touchdown a game they do allow, but you got to look at the game scripts they've been in as well. And when I'm looking at Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison, he had a great catch over that catch over the 2 defenders was absolutely Randy Moss style, mossed him up. But where is Trey McBride? This guy looks so good out there, and they just can't get the ball to him. I mean, this has got to be Cardinals got to be thinking like Kyler Murray's future here in Arizona, and it doesn't look good. When I'm heading into the Colts side here, this is another game where I'm going to be staying away from Indiana Jones. Now, I know the matchup you can say with the Arizona Cardinals is going to look like they're going to blow them out, right? But the Cardinals are actually good versus the quarterback. They rank 5th, giving up 14.2 points, 1,333 yards, 5 passing TDs. So very low there as well. And you've seen how good Jonathan Taylor looks, man. 3 touchdowns last week. They're favored heavy in this game. I think it's going to be another Jonathan Taylor absolute destruction game here. And I don't think they're going to need to use Danny Dimes much because this defense is going to give Kyler Murray so many fits that I got to put both these quarterbacks on a sit this week. The 3-2 Chargers, man, sliding on a 2-game slide here. They lose Amari and Hampton. They lose Najee Harris. But that is not going to keep me away from starting Justin Herbert going up against the 1-4 Dolphins. The over-under is 43.5. Chargers are favored by 4.5 in this game. Now, Ladd McConkey finds the end zone last week. You still have Keenan. You still have Quentin. Aronde Gadsden getting a little play at tight end. The rookie coming up, getting a little more volume. But why do you have to like this so much? Miami ranks 30th versus the quarterback, giving up 3.6 points per game. That is what you want. 1,139 yards. They allowed 9 touchdown per game, almost 2 touchdowns a game they allow through the air. This is going to be a Justin Herbert different style offense when you have Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal probably splitting timeshare back there at running back in a hardball run system. They're going to have to unleash the pass, and there's nothing better time to do it than against the Miami Dolphins defense, which is absolute trash this year. When you're looking at Tua Tagovailoa, he's going to be a sit for me, even though it could be a game script where they're behind and maybe he gets some garbage time points. You're going up against the Chargers. They rank 11th versus the quarterback, giving up 16 points, 941 passing yards allowed, which is 3rd best in the NFL. Jalen Waddle, he had a big game last week as well. It's just going to be a tougher matchup. Chargers are very good versus the wide receiver as well here. And they've only allowed 4 passing touchdowns. So that's under 1 touchdown to the receivers a game. This is going to be a very, very, very tough game for Tua. They're going to get after him so fast with that offensive line. It's going to have to be quick. Hopefully, Darren Waller or Jalen Waddle can splash one in, but I'm not banking on it. I am sitting Tua this week. Oh, my Lanta, the 3-2 Patriots led by Drake May, who looks like he is going to be the absolute real deal Holyfield out there beating Josh Allen and the Bills last week. My goodness, they're heading into the New Orleans Saints. And when you're going up against the Saints, how can you not start anybody, right? The New Orleans Saints versus the quarterback, they rank 26th, giving up 20 points a game. 1,086 yards, 11 passing TDs, over 2.1 passing TDs a game, 146 yards on the ground, which is about 30 yards rushing on the ground a game to the quarterback. This is an absolute smash start, Drake May. The Stephon Diggs revenge game, I absolutely told you, do not sit Stephon Diggs last week, and he crushed the Bills. And you're getting, you got the Antonio Gibson injury with the ACL now. Please, for the love of God, let's see Travion Henderson in this passing game and the offense explode. Onto the Saints side, it's a very tough matchup, but I got to throw a little credit to Spencer Rattler, man. He's been kind of thrown to the wolves with the Saints, and he's holding his own. He's not looking that bad. I'm still not starting him versus New England in a redraft style format, maybe a super flex. No, I'm not starting him super flex. I can't say that. Patriots ranked 18th, get up 16.6 points to the quarterback, 1,277 pass yards, 9 passing TDs, only 67 yards on the ground. This defense has gotten better and better. And I know you got Chris Olave. Rashid Shaheed popped that 80, I don't know what it was, 80-yard bomb, which helped Rattler's number. And, of course, Rashid Shaheed. But you got to think, is Tyler Shuck going to get in there with the high draft round capital pick they used? You're already seeing the Bengals, try to move for Joe Flacco. Teams are trying to make plays. I'm almost positive that Tyler Shuck's going to get in here at some point, but Rattler hasn't looked bad. I got to give him credit. Oof, the 1-4 Cleveland Browns, who are now led by Dylan Gabriel, and not a bad showing from him last week against a tough defense. I'm going to put him as a super flex possible play. He does give you rushing upside. He did rush for over 1,000 yards at Oregon. We all know he can do a little bit, but you're going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and they're coming off a bye as well. So that's always a scary thing with Mike Tomlin. Even when you look at the Steelers defense, they do rank 29th. Giving up 21.4 points per game to the quarterback. That's why you got to like Dylan Gabriel as a possible super flex start. 1,131 yards, 7 passing TDs, and 105 on the ground. But remember, they came off a bye. So those numbers are already lower and skewed because they already sat out a week compared to other teams. Joe Flacco, we can get rid of. I need to move him to the Bengals here. I'll probably do that mid-video. I completely forgot. And Shadur Sanders is bumped up to QB2. Now, on the Steelers side, Aaron Rodgers. The Cleveland Browns defense is nasty, guys. I'm not starting Aaron Rodgers versus defense. He gives up 14.6 points, 925 pass yards. That's fourth best in the NFL. 9 TDs they've given up through the air and 40 yards rushing. But Aaron Rodgers at his old age isn't rushing. DK Metcalf had that big game before the bye out there in London against the Vikings. Do they get more involved off the bye? Does he get, better usage? Hopefully Roman Wilson getting some hype here. And you still got Jonnu and Pat Frymouth, and I'm not starting Aaron Rodgers in this game at all. All systems green game here. The Dallas Cowboys, 2-2-1, are headed into the 2-3 Carolina Panthers. And what am I doing with Aaron Rodgers there? That is wrong. The over-under is 49.5 in this game. It's one of the highest implied point total games of the week. You saw Bryce Young bounce back against Miami last week, kind of in garbage time. They kind of fell behind, and then Miami kind of gave that game away. And you've seen Dak just dominate the passing yards in the end. You're about to get C.D. Lamb back. And the matchup is going to be tougher when you look at it, right? So when you're looking at the Carolina Panthers, they've been good versus the quarterback. They're number 9 overall, giving up 15.47 passing TDs through the air, so almost 2 a game there. Sorry, that's under 1.7.5 a game there. It's still early in the morning. 1,058 yards and 69 yards rushing on the ground. But you've seen what Dak can do without CeeDee Lamb. It's about to get CeeDee Lamb back, and he's played 2 top defenses doing it. This man is on a mission, and I'm not sitting him anytime soon. Now, Bryce Young, like we talked about the Miami game, little bounce back there. But, guys, when you play the Dallas Cowboys defense, you start everyone. The Micah Parsons effect is real for this defense. They cannot stop anything. Versus the quarterback, they are dead last in the NFL, giving up 27.1. Baltimore is at 31, giving up 24.4. That's how bad this defense is. 1,520 passing yards, dead last. 12 passing TDs. That's second to last behind the Ravens, who've given up 13. And Bryce Young is a sneaky start. You got a little involvement with Xavier Legette last week. You might have Jalen Coker back off IR. You might have Jatavion Sanders back at tight end. And Ted McMillan is going to get his first touchdown in his NFL career this week. I actually like Bryce Young as a start this week, even though it doesn't look sexy on or what he's done for the season. The matchup is just too good not to. Back-to-back all systems green here. The Seattle Seahawks, big loss to Baker Mayfield last week. What a performance by him. 4 game-winning drives. Sam Darnold was my sleeper play of the week last year. Absolutely nailed that. And they're going in to face the 4-1 Jaguars. 4-1 Jacksonville. They I'd say they just clutched out a win versus the Chiefs last week. And Trevor Lawrence looked absolutely great. And I thought the Jags were frauds, and they kind of proved me wrong, but I still really don't know if I believe it. But the over-under is 46.5 in this game. Jacksonville is favored by 1.5 at home in Duval. Now, when you're looking at Sam Darnold here, and Jackson Smith and Jigba has just been an absolute monster. They're going up against the Jags. They ranked 22nd versus the quarterback, getting up 17.6 points per game, 1,302 passing yards, 8 passing TDs. That's over 1.4 passing TDs a game. That's what you want. The running game is going to be a lot tougher here against Jacksonville versus the run with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. And Charbonnet's the goal line back, which your boy's been saying all year long. So I'm going to put Sam Darnold as a super flex start this week because the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, man, they've earned it, man. On the Trevor Lawrence side, what a performance. Falls over at the end of the game, rushes it in for the win, and he's using his legs more, guys. That's what you wanted with him coming out of college. That's what he was. He was the all-around, all-world, phenom freaking rookie coming out, and it hasn't come to fruition. Maybe Liam Cohen is kind of unlocking this. That was the biggest game of the year and the biggest matchup of the year, and he absolutely showed up and showed out. And you get Seattle. They ranked 17th, giving up 16.5 points per game, 12.89 through the air, 8 touchdowns, so 1.4 there as well, and 86 yards on the ground. You got to like Trevor Lawrence here. You got to hope BTJ gets involved. Yeah, they lost Brenton Strange, so maybe you're going to get more Travis Hunter on the offensive side as well here. Brenton Strange is on IR. And I'm not sitting Trevor Lawrence coming off that major win. They're going to be riding high, and I think they're going to smack Seattle as well. Yuck. The 1-4 Titans are headed into the 1-4 Raiders, which is going to be slowly looking like the battle for the first pick again this year. I mean, these teams are bad. The over-under is 41.5. Las Vegas favored by 4.5 at home. When you're looking at Cam Ward, yeah, they got the win on a crazy, crazy fumble play. The matchup is not bad versus the Raiders. I mean, they rank 21st. They're better versus the run. They give up 17.1 points, 11.69 through the air, 7 passing touchdowns they've given up. I just don't trust Cam Ward. I do think it's a smash Calvin Ridley week as well. You saw him bounce back. I told you guys not to give up on him because volume is king. And when I look at Geno Smith, man, this guy is just throwing ducks into triple coverage, double coverage. Like his interception prop is like a lock every single week with how he's playing. Looks like one of the worst signings in the offseason that could have been there. I don't know what Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly are doing here. It doesn't look great. You're going up against the Titans. They rank 8th versus the quarterback, giving up 14.7, 1,155 yards, only 6 passing TDs. That is a very, very, very good defense versus the quarterback versus the wide receivers. And you might not have Brock Bowers again this week. He's week to week. So not for me this week with either one of these quarterbacks in this ugly matchup. The 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals decide to bring in, I make it make sense, Joe Flacco instead of like Jameis Winston like we all want. I get the veteran, however you want to put it. I'm not throwing this guy out there versus the Green Bay Packers. Even when you have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, maybe this helps him because he needs a miracle from here on out. But this game, 44.5, Green Bay's favored by 14.5, guys. This is going to be maybe a garbage time game for Flacco. I would have way rather seen Winston or possibly maybe a Russell Wilson here. But when you're going up against Green Bay, they do rank 15th versus the quarterback, giving up 16.3. You got to remember they're coming off a bye too as well. So 886 passing yards. That's their third best there as well. And they've given up 9 passing TDs. They're not 9 passing TDs. Sorry, I'm looking at it wrong. They're giving up 6 passing TDs only. That's 1.15 a game. Obviously, they had a bye to help them there. I'm not going to start Joe Flacco in his first game in a new system with Zach Taylor trying to figure it out against one of the preliminary defenses in the NFL. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys smashed them. But Dak's been on a mission. I don't think it's going to be the same kind of thing here. The Bengals offensive line, and Joe Flacco's a statue, man. The Bengals offensive line is terrible. Micah Parsons making 5 freaking sacks in this game. Packers side, Jordan Love, absolutely one of my favorite starts this week. It's like going up against the Cowboys, going up against the Dolphins. When you go up against the Bengals defense, you start everybody. They give up 19 points a game to the quarterback, 1,347 passing yards, 11 passing TDs. That's 2 passing touchdowns a game, over that 2.2. And you got to think about it like Christian Watson may be back. You got Matthew Golden, Romeo Doubs, Josh Jacobs. The Packers absolutely smacked the Bengals in the mouth here in this game. Oh, my 49ers got a tough test, and we don't know if Brock Purdy or Mac Jones is going to be out there. So if it's Mac Jones, I'm going to put him as a super flex start into yellow. Obviously, it's early. We don't have the update yet, but there's been a couple updates that say Brock Purdy could miss, couldn't play, could play, however that goes. When you look at Baker Mayfield, man, my God, this guy is chasing the MVP. If we have, through the first 5 weeks of the football, if they had an MVP, it's got to go to him over every single quarterback. 4 game-winning drives, almost came back versus the Eagles as well to be 5-0. And Mike Evans hasn't been out there yet. So, and Chris Godwin came back, week 4, I believe, or week 5, I believe it was. So, man, this is going to be absolute gold for Baker Mayfield when everyone gets back out there. The over-under 47.5. Tampa's favored by 2.5. And we don't know if the Niners are going to have Jennings, Pearsall, or anything, but you saw what Mac Jones could do last week versus the Rams with no one. So he's definitely a super flex option. And when you're looking at Tampa Bay, I tried to tell everyone last week that, dude, their secondary is beat up. That's why Jackson Smith was going to smash. They give up 20.1 points per game, ranking 28th, 1,173 pass yards, 10 passing TDs. That's 2 a game. You know, if it's Mac Jones or if it's Purdy, you're going to super flex to start Purdy. Baker Mayfield, are you ever sitting in this guy regardless of who he plays? No, you are not. The 49ers are very good versus the quarterback. They rank 10th, giving up 15.7 points per game, 1079 through the air, and 8 passing TDs, under 2 a game there, so that's good defense there. But still, Emeka Egbuka looks like an absolute demon. Chris Godwin's going to be more involved. Possibly Mike Evans back this week. We don't know. They said 2 to 3 weeks, a couple weeks ago. So he could be, and once he gets those plethora of wide receivers back, my God, Baker Mayfield is going to destroy fantasy football. Man, this one is very brutally tough, and Matt Stafford and the Rams are headed in to face the 1-4 Ravens. And we don't know if Lamar Jackson is going to try and push through and play in this game with the bye coming next week with the hammy that he has. So if he's out there, it's a must start. Lamar Jackson's a must start every single time. Cooper Rush looked absolutely terrible, guys. The over-under is 44.5. Rams are favored by 7.5 as of now. And I haven't seen the update. Again, I've been late to start this entire week. So if Lamar Jackson is out there, obviously that over-under and that spread is going to change, right? But Matt Stafford has just been on an absolute tear. And I try to tell you guys, man, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are both going to be top 15 wide receivers, and they are destroying fantasy football at this point. And now there's no better matchup than the Baltimore Ravens defense that is absolutely terrible, guys. They give up 24 points a game to the quarterback, 1,351 yards, second worst through the air, 13 passing TDs, last there as well, 79 yards on the ground. But Matt Stafford, he ain't running much at his old age. Absolute must start here for him. And when it comes to the Ravens, I'll give the Rams stats here, against the quarterback, because they rank 12th, giving up 16 points a game, 1,193 through the air, and 7 touchdowns. But Cooper Rush looked absolutely terrible. If it's Lamar Jackson, obviously he's a must start. They need to get him back. I don't know if they're going to be able to bounce back from 1-5 off a bye. That's like they got to win like 11 straight, go 12-5 to get out, or like 11-6. That's going to be very tough. And this is like the Ravens season too, man. It's actually crazy. This game, if Lamar might come out there and play because this is the Ravens season on the line. But again, if he's out there, he's a start. But Cooper Rush, I can't do it. Oh my goodness. The game that I cannot wait to watch this week. Dude, the Lions, 4-1, headed into the 2-3 Chiefs. The over-under is 51.5. Chiefs are favored at home here. No Rashee Rice yet. We are 1 week away from getting Rashee Rice, starting both quarterbacks in this game, no matter what. This is going to be the absolute Sunday Night Football highlight of the week game that I can't wait to watch. And when you're looking at the Chiefs defense for the Lions side, they give up 16.7, ranking 19th, under 1,000 yards passing, so top 5 there. They've also only given up 5 passing TDs, which is 1 a game. This defense has been very good versus the pass. They've been getting gashed by the run. But still, Jared Goff in a high implied point total game of the week. I'm still putting him as a start this week. And you saw what he did last week, man. The Lions, they're absolutely for real. I was a lot lower on them coming in. And Jameson Williams isn't even involved. They don't even need him. So, starting Jared Goff this week. Patrick Mahomes has looked so good. When he gets Rashee Rice back, guys, and they could be 2-4. We could have the 1-5 Ravens and the 2-4 Chiefs after this week, heading into week 7. And I still wouldn't count these teams out, man. The Lions give up 16.4, ranking 16th versus the quarterback, 1145 through the air, and 10 passing TDs through the air, so 2 a game there as well. Patrick Mahomes has been running like crazy. He looks so dialed in. They did lose that game to the Jags, but I'm telling you, when they get Rashee Rice back, the show is going to be on, and I'm starting both these quarterbacks in this massive, massive shootout potential game. Part of the Monday Night Football doubleheader, the Bills at 4-1 are headed into the Atlanta, Georgia Falcons, to the Dirty Birds. And Buffalo is only favored by 3.5 in this game, which is kind of wild to me with a high implied point total like that. I don't know if I think the Falcons are going to keep up that much in this game. And I have Michael Penix as a sit. Josh Allen, you're always starting. When you're looking at the Falcons defense for Josh Allen, they are obviously coming off a bye as well. So numbers a lot lower, guys. They rank 4th, 602 passing yards allowed, number 1 in the NFL, 5 TDs. That's 1 touchdown a game. But again, they've had a bye, so those numbers are a lot lower. So they could have 800 to 900 to 1,000 yards. So you got to factor that in. They get 91 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Josh Allen coming off a loss. I am not doubting him at all in this game. I expect the Bills to smack the Falcons in the mouth, part of this Monday Night Football doubleheader. And we're looking at the Falcons side here. They're going up against the Bills, who rank 14th, giving up 837, 6 passing TDs through the air. They've given up, and they're getting healthier. This defense was kind of beat up early. I don't trust Michael Penix at all in this game. I'm not starting him against a defense that's going to be getting after him all game long here. And yeah, could the bye have helped them? Could, get a little more connection, get Mooney healthier, Pitts, London out there. Still going to be a tough matchup versus Benford out there for the Falcons. I'm sitting Michael Penix this week. Last but not least, the 2024 rookie QB battle, JD5 versus Caleb Williams and the Bears. It's 2 straight wins for the Bears. Commanders coming off their big win last week as well, getting Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt involved. Over-under is 50.5. Gotta like that high implied point total. Washington favored by 4.5 in this game. And guys, this is your target fantasy football DFS game across the board, right? Both these teams, right? So Commanders ranked 24th versus the quarterback. Bears ranked 25th. Both these defense can't stop anything. Commanders giving up 1,272 yards through the air. That's bottom 5 in the NFL, 8 touchdowns. And then you look at the Bears, they give up 19.4 to the quarterback, 886 to the air. Yeah, they had a bye. 10 touchdowns, over 2.25 touchdowns per game they give up through the air. Could we get Terry McLaurin back in this game? Could the Bears get Colston Loveland back to go along with DJ Moore, get Luther Burden involved, Rome Odunze, their stud new wide receiver 1. Debo Samuel's now the wide receiver 1, as I said all year for the Commanders. Terry McLaurin could be back. They need to get Zach Ertz involved. This game, I'm targeting heavy across the board. I cannot wait to see it, and I honestly do not know who I'm going to call as a winner here in this game, but these are absolutely smash, must-start quarterbacks. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is every single matchup, who to start, who to sit at quarterback. Sorry for the late start, guys. It's been one of those weeks. Man, it's absolutely crazy. But I'm going to get my running back, wide receivers, tight end, start sits out today. My rankings will start tomorrow, and then I'll get to smash starts, sleeper plays like that, buy lows, sell highs, everything like that coming later in the week here. And I will be live again Thursday for the kickoff show. Start said show there for the Giants-Eagles games as well. Hope to see you guys in there. On your way out, guys, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, and turn that bell on so you don't miss anything. Again, the Guys FF Discord, pinned in the comments and in the description of the video. And if you haven't signed up on drafters.com, shout out to the sponsor. Make sure you sign up using promo code SLEAZE. It will match your initial double your initial deposit, no matter what it is, up to $100, guys. That's it for me in this episode. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Sleaze Bomb out.